So this is a question from Manadork, which is how do you manage to keep the creative juices flowing and spirits high when you have a job slash career that requires you to write and or edit all day? That's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
Do you want me
I
to?
don't think there's any like clear answer to that.
Yeah.
That's definitely something I've struggled with a lot. Um, One thing that I've been considering more recently within the past couple of years is how do you like to zoom out a little bit and think about it um, a little bit more on a large scale question is to think about like maybe one thing you change is that you have a career that doesn't require so much writing and editing. So is there something that you enjoy doing that you can make a living on for your day job and then save all of your creative energy for writing and editing for your personal projects? That could be one way of kind of analyzing the question. Another way of coming at it is I think what we've all started to learn in this during work from home is how to kind of context switch and turn off the work part so that you can start enjoying the home part. And I think we could probably learn some lessons about how to take what we do to rejuvenate between work days to apply that towards writing. So if you've been writing all day, maybe you can find something to do between 5:30 when you stop doing your regular job and when you start picking up your writing at the end of the day to come at it somewhat refreshed. Or on the flip side of that, you could consider waking up early and writing that, so that your primary energy, your freshest energy, gets put toward your writing instead of your job.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think like kind of splitting energy like that is a good thing, and like I think also in my point of view, it's also just admitting and being okay with the fact that it's going to be hard. Like I think at one point I was doing my full-time job, writing grad school. I was a TA for writing grad school, and I was trying to write. And it's absolutely it was really tough, and it was a lot. And eventually I decided, okay, I probably need to dial this back because I'm gonna go bananas. But I think just knowing that, hey, like it's okay if it's hard. I think also giving yourself some leeway, and saying, hey, it doesn't always have to be words for the page. It can be words. It can be like kind of like how we're doing these writing sprints, right? It can be a journal entry. It can be, because like all that stuff is really just translating what's in your mind on a paper. It can be a haiku. It can be a journal entry. It can be something silly. It can be fan fiction. I very, very strongly. I always encourage a lot of writers to try fan fiction because it saves you some extra mental work, right? Especially if you're just developing your writing. If you want to try to sell it, that's different. But if you're just saying, hey, I'm trying to like build some chops, it's great because you don't have to figure out the world building. You don't have to figure out the character. You just kind of just do something fun in a place you're gonna have that's happy. And I think honestly, like Twitch streaming has helped me a lot, especially during that time because it was fun. It's always fun to chat with people and to see where they're at in their writing journey. So it just made me want to get to the page because I was like, oh well, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, but I'll shoot the bull with some folks on Twitch, and that'll be a lot of fun. Um, and those types of things. I think lastly is just having accountability, and having people who will say, okay, well that's great, it's been challenging, but and also like be chill, so they won't be like, hey, what's wrong with you, but saying, hey, like, okay, this week was intense, like totally cool that it's gonna be a more low key week for your writing, but hey, if next week you have a 4-day weekend, or if you have a little bit more leeway, yeah, like maybe they'll maybe help you set a goal for yourself and say, okay, I'm still recharging, but maybe I'll just do like 500 words a day that weekend, and that's really manageable. It's just taking an hour, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you still hopefully will have a lot of time. And some people, some people an hour is 300 words. It could be like 1 to 2 hours. It just depends. Or just setting those, like just saying, oh, just a time goal instead of a word count goal. Just like, hey, I'm just gonna write from noon to one, and what happens happens, and going easy on yourself because I think the one thing that's really hard is if you kick yourself every time you're not perfect, You will definitely not want to write, because then writing becomes something that's like miserable and surrounded with guilt. So I think just going easy on yourself, acknowledging that it's going to be challenging and tough, and yeah, cutting yourself some slack. So that's our thoughts on managing a crazy work environment, especially when you're doing similar work. So yeah, good luck. It's not an easy road, but we got faith in y'all.
It's an age-old question.
An age-old question, seriously.